No one warned you about this, but somewhere in your 40s it just happens. You download a birdsong app, you're suddenly at nature reserves at the weekends, and the next thing you know, you bought binoculars and realised you've become a bird watcher. Which is why I was pretty gutted to hear that RSPB now recommends taking down bird feeders between the 1st of May and the 31st of October. And that sounds completely backwards, doesn't it? We put bird feeders up to help birds, but it turns out busy feeders can become disease hotspots in summer. The problem is a highly contagious disease called trichomoniasis, which is a bit of a mouthful to say. And when birds gather in large numbers around feeders, it creates the perfect conditions for it to spread. It can occur all year round, but cold weather helps keep it in check. In summer and autumn though, it spreads much more easily, which is why the RSPB has updated their advice. It's basically social distancing for birds. And it gets worse. I was actually thinking of adding a bird table to get even more birds into the garden, but tables are now not recommended at all. Flat surfaces make it even easier for the disease to spread. So yes, feeders can be a problem, but we don't have to put away our binoculars altogether. There are still ways to attract birds safely, and honestly they're better for your garden anyway. Trichomoniasis mostly affects greenfinch and chaffinch populations, and we're already seeing big declines. Now these birds tend to go for seeds and peanuts, and they're not that interested in things like fat balls, suet or mealworms. So offering small amounts of these is still considered safe. Now if you do keep feeders up, hygiene is everything. The RSPB recommends cleaning them thoroughly at least once a week and moving them to new spots each time so waste doesn't build up underneath. The real solution is to create a garden where birds can find their own food. The more you grow, the more variety of birds you'll attract. The RSPB actually says there's enough natural food available from May to October, so feeders are really just a supplement. In summer, birds aren't that interested in seeds anyway. They're after insects, soft fruits and early berries. And this is where it does get interesting. If your garden is completely pest-free, you've actually removed one of the main food sources. Caterpillars, aphids and spiders, that's what they're really hunting, especially when they're feeding their chicks. So instead of trying to get rid of every insect, you want to encourage some of them. Plants like nasturtiums, nettles, grasses, climbers and wildflowers all help bring insects in. And once the insects arrive, the birds follow. Now, you might not be thrilled about birds helping themselves to your strawberries and raspberries, although they'd have to be pretty quick to beat our kids to them anyway, but you can grow a few things just for them. Currants, blackberries and gooseberries all produce loads of fruit in summer. Last year, our red currant bush was absolutely covered and then one day, gone. The birds are beating us to it and we didn't get a look in. Some shrubs will carry things through into autumn as well. Elder and honeysuckle are grey and very low effort once established. And later in the year, plants like teasels, echinacea, rudbeckia and sunflowers produce loads of seeds that birds absolutely love. Finches in particular go mad for teasels. So instead of cutting everything back when it finishes flowering, leave some of it standing over winter. You also want to create a garden where birds actually feel safe. They need somewhere to shelter and nest and not just somewhere to eat. Dense shrubs, hedges and climbers give them protection from predators and a place to rest. You can watch them darting in and out of our hedges all day, which is quite nice. It's also nice to give them a drink and somewhere to cool off. A bird bath does the job, but hygiene matters here as well. Clean it at least once a week and refresh it daily with clean tap water to stop disease building up. In our garden, we get blue tits, wrens, robins, a family of magpies, and of course the pigeons never miss an invite. So even if the feeders come down for summer, I'm not putting the binoculars away just yet. So tell me, what birds do you see in your garden and what are you doing to attract them? Let me know in the comments. And if you're now looking at your garden thinking, well, hang on, I've been trying to get rid of every insect and slug going, then you might want to watch this video next, because there's a right way to control pests without stripping your garden of the food birds actually rely on. I've got a full video on dealing with slugs without wrecking the ecosystem, so go and check that out next.